I want this to be the most boring vlog you have ever watched.
This is a bit of a weird week in as much as...
Okay, fairly big change of plan. If you're wondering, I am sat in, I guess, what is a wardrobe? Invariably, that plan goes wrong. There's a very good dog in this car here, covered in a spider's web. Bear with. It's Monday morning, it's just gone 7 AM, I'm in the car on the way to the gym, and I owe you a bit of an explanation, because if you've ever watched any of my content, you've probably heard me explain why I would never start a vlog. And for years, whenever anybody would ask me, I'd say, no, a vlog isn't for me, I would never do a vlog. And yet, here we are, I'm doing a vlog. And my answer changed about 6 weeks ago. Two things happened at the same time that made me think that actually right now is the perfect time for me to do a vlog. So the first is that I was just watching a lot of vlog content, and I realized that all of the people I watch on YouTube who have their own vlogs have began way too late in the journey, right? It's almost like there is this story arc of business people online who build a really big business, sell it, hire a team of people around them to produce a vlog, and then produce a vlog.
Camera reported ahead.
Good. And they show you behind the scenes of a life that's entirely unrecognizable, that leaves no clues of how they got to where they are, right? It's almost like you're left chasing the scent of how they got there rather than seeing the actual behind the scenes. I want this to be the most boring vlog you have ever watched, in the sense that this is not me jetting off to exotic locations and speaking at big events. This is me trying. This is me showing what it's like to build a business. I run a marketing agency called Patter. This is what it's like to write a book, which is what I'm in the process of doing. This is what it's like to begin to grow online content channels. This is what it's like to be training for a half marathon, be training after that for marathons, to be working on self-improvement, to be trying to make the most of my late 20s. There's going to be nothing artistic about this. This is not going to be a Casey Neistat style vlog. This is mainly just going to be shots of me in the car talking, shots of me in the office, and some B-roll of meetings I can't show you. So that's reason number one. And then reason number two, why now is the right time for a vlog, is actually to do with B-roll, because that's where this entire journey in my head began, which is that I think the content I produce on the internet right now is good. The monologue style videos where I sit and speak to camera, whether that's a long form video on YouTube or a TikTok or an Instagram reel, I think that I have good, important messages to share. However, I'm aware enough to realize that they're fairly boring when it comes to the algorithm, right? They don't capture any attention because it's just me sat in an office talking to a camera. However, the couple of videos I've tested in the past where there is some B-roll seem to do disproportionately well because they hook people that little bit longer. And so I was sat there a few weeks ago and I'm like, I need to capture a load of B-roll of my life to drop into these videos to help what I believe are important messages land better on the internet. And then I'm like, you know what, if I'm gonna be capturing a bunch of B-roll anyway, if I'm gonna be recording most of my life anyway, why not turn it into a vlog? That's what we're doing. I've just got to the gym. The car park is empty. I never normally get here this early, actually. This is nice. One other thing to mention, I'm not going to be recording in places like the gym yet because I'm not that brave. I'll do my best to record where I can, and in places like big empty car parks like this, I'm fine. In places like the office or in meetings where I can, I'm fine to film there. But I'm going to start slowly, because having a big camera with you at all times and filming yourself speaking to yourself in the street is a very different kettle of fish to having a podcast or doing two camera stuff in the office. And I always say that the best way to get good at any of that is to just do it. But that's what I'm going to do, but I'm going to do it in a gradual way. You're not going to find me filming in the gym right now. I'll show you what I can, I'll show you what I'm happy to. With that said, I'm going to go to the gym, then I'm going to do a bit of a weekly food shop, and then get myself to the office. This is episode 1 of the vlog that doesn't have a name yet. Let's go.
Skin man, skin man mod. Skin man, skin man mod. Skin man, skin man mod. Skin man mod.
Just before 3 PM and I popped out for a little walk. I always do this after lunch. I find that if I have lunch and then sit at my desk, no matter what I eat, whether it's super carb heavy or like a really healthy lunch like what I had today, if I go straight from eating to sitting down, the second half of the day is a write-off. So I always make sure that I come out to this little like river path thing that runs behind the office. It's like a 10-minute walk.
It's nothing dramatic, but it just means that when I get back to the office, I feel that bit more alive. I've been literally non-stop since this morning, so this is a bit of a weird week in as much as I'm only in the office on Monday and Tuesday and maybe Friday. I'm not sure yet, I may have a meeting. But on Thursday, we're in Milton Keynes for a presentation to an existing client. It's a big presentation, lots of work is going into it. So this afternoon, I'll be working on that, having done a bunch of stuff this morning unrelated to that. Tomorrow afternoon, me and Richard will be working on that. Wednesday, we're traveling to Milton Keynes, ready for that meeting on Thursday. Probably most of Wednesday, we'll be reviewing this presentation. And then Thursday, of course, we'll be sat in a boardroom somewhere presenting this presentation. So a bit of a weird week, trying to squeeze a lot into Monday and Tuesday, because these are the two kind of stable days where I know where I'm going to be. I can kind of manage my time and my movements that bit better. So I'm gonna get back to the office and get on with more doing. So the time is 6:30. I'm running a little bit late because I was working on that presentation that I mentioned, and there was a difficulty. There was a moment that I got to where I'm like, I'm not really sure where to take this, and then suddenly there was an unlock. And so when I got going, I thought there's no point stopping at an arbitrary time and beginning again at 2 p.m. tomorrow. So I just plowed through. I'm probably like 45 minutes behind where I should be. What I'm gonna do now is record a bunch of reels. I was planning to edit as many of them as I could tonight. I'm not gonna do that now. I'm gonna edit 1 or 2 tonight so that they're banked so that I can post them when I need to. And then tomorrow I need to pop into Cardiff. And so rather than driving there and back, I'm gonna jump on the train from the office into the middle of Cardiff. And when I'm there, on the train, I will edit more reels. This is the reality of my overscheduled life, where I try and schedule everything. It's useful because when things don't go to schedule, you can see what hasn't gone to schedule. You can see the exact blocks of time that are currently missing from what you've achieved, and you can drag them into the future. Whereas if you're making it up, if you're trying to guess what you need to do when, or relying solely on a to-do list, you can't do that. So I know I'm running a little bit behind. I'm able now to shift things around over the next couple of days to make sure that everything stays on track. I'm gonna go and set up the camera, swap out the microphones, sort what I need to sort, plan the rough outline of what I need to say, and then hopefully record at least 5 usable reels. Oh, it's wet out there. Wet out there. So it's Tuesday morning, it is 1 minute past 10. I did some calls from the house this morning after sleeping way later than I thought I was going to. Now I'm off to the office to do a few sales bits and then put a couple of campaigns live for clients, have lunch, drop Richard off somewhere, and then this afternoon the two of us are going to be working on that presentation I mentioned. Then this evening off to Cardiff to pick up some new glasses, because you probably noticed by now after one day of this that I wear glasses whilst driving, but my eyesight is terrible, and so as of today I guess I'm going to try and wear glasses longer term, because when I'm out and about and it's dark, or when I'm trying to read something far away in the office, it's just difficult. But these glasses here, they're just a bit much to wear day to day, like they're just a bit big, so I've purchased a smaller pair. I'm gonna go pick those up this evening whilst on the train. I'm gonna edit some reels like I spoke about last night, and then this evening around 7 p.m. I'm gonna record this week's podcast. I really want to do that as quickly as possible, because I mean, I need to do it because I haven't done it in like 4 weeks now, but I need to do it as quickly as possible because tomorrow onwards is going to be very busy with travel and not a lot of sleep and meetings and just all of the stuff that throws out the predictable factors of a schedule and of getting things done. So I want to get to bed as early as possible tonight. It's still probably going to be like 10 p.m. It's not going to be super early, but as early as possible, and that means getting that podcast done as quickly as I can. So I'm going to drive to the office now, show you as much as I can of what will be a fairly uneventful day, and then we'll catch up when I go and get the glasses, I guess, because that will probably be the next exciting thing on this very rainy Tuesday. I'll catch you later.
Skengman mode, gloves, mask, jet black coat. Man do dirt, then head back home. Eye in the sky like check that drone. If I'm on a glide, let that go. I could be the bigger man, but them boy there won't respect man's growth. Wingman, left back flow. Weak man, head back blown. Sick man, gets and cold. Dip man, send man home. Twist and bend that bro. I was 19 with a gun twice my age. I put man in the boot that was twice my weight.
Right, the time is 8:30. I'm back in the office and I have updates, but none of them are particularly useful. So, we spoke earlier. I told you my plan was to jump on the train, go to Vision Express, pick up those glasses. I needed to buy some trainers or shoes. I'll explain why in a minute. And then I was going to jump back on the train and edit reels on the way back. So my plan was train, edit reels, pick up glasses from Cardiff, another train, edit reels, leave, get back to the office, do the podcast, and be back in the office by about 7 p.m. It's 8:30, I have no glasses, and I got on no trains, and I edited no reels. So me and Richard were gonna drive to Cardiff, because he wanted to get food. We were gonna stop by Vision Express very quickly. I was gonna grab some trainers, because I needed them, and then we were gonna get food. I was gonna get the train back. So what happened, we drove to Cardiff, which means I didn't edit any reels on the way there because I was in the car with Richard. We got to Vision Express, they closed at 6 p.m. it turns out. I assumed because any time I've been there before and it closed at 7, they were going to close at 7. I got there at like 3 minutes past 6 and the shutters were down, so couldn't collect the glasses. Need to go back to Cardiff at some point later in the week to do that. Then I was gonna buy like the most basic B-Tech pair of like white pumps from Primark you can imagine, because for this meeting on Thursday, I don't wanna wear shoes and be overly formal, but things like Yeezys with the laces hanging out just isn't really the vibe I'm going for this particular meeting, for obvious reasons. So I was gonna buy those little pumps. They weren't in stock in Primark. And I didn't want like a rip-off pair of Jordans or whatever the other trainers Primark do are. So I grabbed these New Balance things, which are quite nice. I don't know what to tell you about them, I'm not a trainer person. So grabbed them from Foot Asylum, I think, but I had to look in so many shops before I found something I like. I'm very particular when it comes to trainers. Then it was quite late. Then we went to get food. Food was okay, that was good. But because I spent so long looking for these trainers, didn't get the glasses, of course, spent long looking for the trainers. By the time I'd had food, the last train I could have got back here to be able to get to the office was gone. Like, the trains finish early around here at the moment for engineering works, which means I couldn't get on a train back to edit reels, so I haven't edited any reels. And then we spent about 45 minutes on the main road out there, the A470. Sat in standstill traffic. We got to maybe 500 yards away from the office. Like, you could literally see the office junction, the slip road from where we were sat. And there were a bunch of like traffic police cars and ambulances and fire engines and all this stuff flying up the road. It looks like somebody was stood on the bridge. There's a bridge that goes across the road here, big main road. So for obvious reasons, the police stopped all traffic for about 45 minutes. So I'm finally back in the office. It's 8:30. I haven't recorded the podcast yet. This entire monologue is to say that everything from like 5 p.m. onwards today hasn't really happened. It hasn't gone to plan. But again, like I spoke about yesterday, that's all okay. I can just move things around in the calendar. The only thing that I'm going to make sure I get done tonight, because it has been so long since I've done one, is the podcast. I'm going to go maybe into the meeting room, maybe to my desk and do that. I'm not sure which. I'm going to be doing that in a minute. I'm going to go for a run tomorrow morning because I didn't manage to do that last night. It got dark too quickly. I'm thinking maybe 10k. I don't know. And then tomorrow afternoon, we will be on our way to Milton Keynes. We're actually staying in Silverstone, I think, but Milton Keynes area because that's where the meeting is on Thursday. The presentation is looking good, so that's good news. I did everything else I needed to today, so that's good news. But this evening has been a write-off. Nothing that I said was going to happen happened. I'm going to do the podcast. I'm going to get myself to bed. I'm going to hopefully wake up early tomorrow, do the run, and then get on with the day of travel and finalizing that presentation tomorrow. So I'll see you then. Recording on my phone right now because I can't be bothered getting the camera out. Did the run, did 8k rather than 10k in the end. It was wet, it was miserable, and then I went to the office, had a shower, got changed, and now we're in the car. Richard's just gone to get petrol on the way to Silverstone, which is where we're staying tonight before that meeting. We're gonna get to the hotel, grab our laptops, do a bit of work, and then we're going to dinner with a client tonight. So yeah, time for a 3-hour drive and some Red Bull. And I'm gonna grab my laptop in the car and do a bit of work because I've got nothing better to do on this drive. And yeah, I'll catch up with you later. The time is 4 p.m, made it to the hotel here in Silverstone. If you're wondering, I am sat
in, I guess, what is a wardrobe, because it's just the nicest place to sit in this room. This hotel is really nice, actually. I think that rather than going to Dublin this year to do the kind of end of year review thing that for the past couple of years I've flown all the way to Dublin to do, I may just drive here from the house, which is like 45 minutes away from here in Northamptonshire, and stay here for a few nights. This, for a Hilton Garden Inn, which is like a middle tier Hilton, is really, really nice. So I might come here, put that phone on hold, that's irrelevant. I got an interesting email when I was in the car just now from the Alzheimer's Society, who I am running the Cardiff Half Marathon for next Sunday, saying that I am their top fundraiser for this event, which is really cool. It's just nice to know that all of you guys supporting, donating, doing your thing, listening to me when I share it on my socials or whatever, has made a real difference, right? We're on like 2,600, getting on for £2,700, an amazing amount of money, which I'm sure will do a lot of good. So thank you if you have donated. I just emailed the contact at the Alzheimer's Society about a very silly plan I have, which I'm not going to tell you about yet, but I have a very silly running related idea for next year. I've spoken to a few friends about it over the past few months, and now I've suggested it to the guys at the charity, which means that it's slightly more real. I'll let you know as the thinking on that progresses. If it goes anywhere, it may not. Like I say, it's 4 o'clock. I'm gonna do a bit more work, run through that presentation, and then get changed, go out for dinner with a client, get back here, go to bed. And then tomorrow is the day of that meeting and that presentation. I'm not really sure what else interesting will happen today, but if anything else interesting does happen, you will see it and I'll bring you along. Morning. It is Thursday. It's about 10:30 in the morning. Yesterday was really good. Went for dinner with a client. Stayed out late. We were out till about 11 p.m, but it was a lot of fun. Just chatting for hours. Had a really good time. The food was really good. Didn't manage to film much yesterday, but today woke up at around 9 a.m. So got a solid 8 hours of sleep here in the hotel. I've been working for a couple of hours this morning. Just had breakfast. And today is the day of the big presentation, which isn't actually that big, but I feel like I've made a big narrative of this video being about the presentation. So that's in a couple of hours time. I'm going to get a little bit more work done this morning. There's a few bits I need to sort for clients in the next couple of hours, and then run through this presentation with Richard quickly just to make sure everything is where it needs to be. Pack up my bags, jump in the car, and then head over to the client's office, which is near Milton Keynes, do that presentation, run through it, leave, and drive back to Wales tonight. So again, it's going to be one of those days where I can't show you a huge amount and not a lot's going to happen. But nonetheless, like I always say, I will show you what I can. I'll bring you with me, and hopefully you'll find it interesting. Update on what I said last night about booking this place instead of Dublin. I think I am going to do that. So for context, for the last couple of years, towards the end of the year, in like the second to last week of December, I would go to Dublin, lock myself in a hotel room, literally, and just plan the year for a day, right? So using Rick Pastor's Grip methodology, great book. If you haven't read it, you ought to before the end of the year, and basically review the previous year and make goals for the coming year. I like the idea of doing that in Dublin, but it's a bit of a trek. I liked the idea of the separation and being away from everything, right? When you're in a different country and in a different city and you don't know anybody, it's really easy to lock yourself away and not be distracted and not get that text asking if you want to come and do XYZ thing. So that was nice. Covered in a spider's web. Bear with. But the same is true here. So this hotel is actually really, really nice. It was built, it opened a year ago yesterday actually, because I had a little hotel birthday party last night. It's really, really nice. It's fairly reasonably priced. It's like an hour from my house, if that. It's here in Northamptonshire. But crucially, it's in the middle of nowhere. There's nothing here, right? It's a big racetrack, which will definitely not be in use in any way in the last couple of weeks of December. So it is just as secluded and just as separated as the capital city of another country, in as much as nobody's making plans here. Nobody's here to distract me here. You've got a racetrack this way and a massive car park that way. So I'll probably tonight book a couple of dates for the end of December, and then we'll be back here in a few months' time. And of course, I'll bring you with me and show you how I review the previous year, i.e. the year we're in right now, and plan for the next year, because it's getting close now. I think by the time this video comes out, we will just be in Q4. This year is going to be over before we know it. So I'm very much in the mindset of considering what changes I want to make next year to make it a good year, and I'm going to do that process in this hotel. But in the meantime, I've got a little bit more work to do, so we're going to go inside, get that done, run through the presentation, travel to the client's office, do the presentation, and then go home. And tomorrow will be another day. I will catch up with you later on.
I'm the murky co-founder, got the gift of the gap, play me louder. I could talk about the kettles on the counter, but you know about the kettles on the counter. Look, I love a real life encounter. It's funny on the phone, you're a shouter. They couldn't figure how I pattern my flow. I stay cool when my catalog's cold, I'm too nice with it. Too clear, blue sky with it. Used to have a hoopty and do crime in it. It's a big movie when I'm in it.
Haven't been able to film much for most of today. It's 5 p.m. Just left the meeting. It went really well, actually. It was nice. It was exciting. It was a 2-hour-long conversation about a future project that's really exciting, and we're just excited to get started. There's not much I can tell you about it, but it was a good meeting. All went well. The preparation into the presentation was worth it, so that's good news. We are at Stadium MK right now. I'm not sure if you can see that in the background. We're going to go and get some food. I think whilst we're in there, I'm going to grab my laptop and do a couple of hours worth of work, because if we leave here now, particularly in this area with all of the roundabouts, we're going to be stuck in traffic for forever in rush hour. So I'm probably going to get a couple of bits from tomorrow's to-do list done tonight, i.e. right now in there, and then jump in a car, get back to Wales, and then probably wake up at like 8 tomorrow, so not super early. That'll be nice. Okay, fairly big change of plan. We're still in Milton Keynes. It is 10 p.m. exactly. So we went for food, and then we were working on our laptops like I spoke about, and we started finalising a proposal for a completely separate project. This is nothing to do with today's meeting. And then Richard was like, why don't we just stay in the hotel that actually was behind me in the last clip you would have seen, so the DoubleTree that's built into the MK Don Stadium. Finish what we needed to finish tonight, get ahead on tomorrow, and then just kind of have a chill morning tomorrow, jump in the car, drive to the office, because the only meeting I have tomorrow is at 2 p.m. There's not a huge amount else that I really need to get done tomorrow. So checked into this hotel, got a really good price, did like 3 or 4 hours worth of work. I've had a really productive night actually. And now got to go to sleep, get up in the morning, get some breakfast, do a bit of work in the car whilst Richard is driving. And then I've got one meeting tomorrow at 2 p.m, get that out of the way, then go into Cardiff to pick up my glasses, because you remember the other day that I couldn't get them. And so that's it. I'm gonna go get some sleep, and then I'll speak to you in the morning. Evening, it's Friday, it's 9 p.m. I have not filmed at all today. It's been very uneventful, to be honest. Left Milton Keynes, got to the office. The meeting that was going to be today was no longer today. Left the office, went to Cardiff, picked up the new glasses. I think they look alright. Let me know what you think. Unsure, but I'm going to be wearing them more often, so hopefully I'll get used to them. And that's it, really. I am not doing any work tomorrow. I always try, where possible, to do nothing on a Saturday, which sounds like a fairly standard thing, but when you run a business, it's often easier said than done. But I really try to protect Saturdays, and I am tired this week, like hotel sleeping plus the big run, although I didn't put it in the vlog, the big run I did on Wednesday morning in the rain. My Whoop metrics in the app are telling me that I need a lot of sleep. I'm going to go to bed in a minute, sleep for as long as I need to sleep for, have a really kind of slow day tomorrow, and then Sunday I am going to film, because on Sundays I spend a few hours every single week where possible working on the book, which as this series progresses you'll probably learn more about. I haven't said a huge amount about what the book is about publicly yet, but we're almost 20,000 words into it, so progress is being made, and Sunday will be another day where I make progress on that, and then I'll wrap things up on Sunday. But just something very quickly which I found is interesting whilst documenting my week, because this week in a lot of ways has been entirely standard, like nothing completely out of the ordinary has happened this week. It's been a fairly boring week. However, it's made me realise, because I've had to sit and stare into a camera and tell you what's happening in any given moment, just how many times within my week things are planned one way, and then for one reason or another, whether it's internal or external, those plans have to change immediately and everything else has to fall in behind it. Because I think this is something which isn't fully appreciated by people who either don't work in certain job roles, or who don't run businesses, or who aren't trying to do something which is fairly self-managed, which is that when you run a business, you're at all waking hours spinning like 1,000 plates in your mind at any given time, and you're always thinking about kind of what's happening now, what's happening in the future, what follow-ups need to be said, who's doing what work, who needs to be moved around, if there's meetings coming up, what needs to be done for them, have there been meetings in the past, and are there follow-up actions that need to be taken care of? If something has changed, why has it changed? Do we need to reschedule? If something's rescheduled, what else happens in the calendars of several people to make sure that that can be accommodated for? And I think this week's episode has been a small insight into that, right? From the self-inflicted issues like driving to Cardiff on Monday rather than getting the train, meaning that a whole cascade of things had to be moved around in the calendar, through to today's meeting moving at the last minute, staying in Milton Keynes last night on a whim to get a proposal finished early. Just so many different little things have changed, and it's just interesting because I've never paused and reflected on that. I've never realised how, although my life is very, very organised in so many ways, and there's actually a video on this YouTube channel about how I use time boxing to plan my days and my weeks, and I think I'm really organised, but organisation can't prepare you for reality, right? You can make the greatest plan ever, but invariably that plan goes wrong every single day. Something happens, an email comes in, an issue happens, a client calls, something has to be changed, a meeting moves, you have to travel somewhere, something unexpected happens which throws everything out, and you have to deal with it now. And this week hasn't been unusual in that sense. Like I say, this hasn't been an eventful week in so many ways. It's actually been a really chilled week because I've done so much travel. But it's just interesting to notice that so many times when I've looked into this camera and told you that one thing is going to happen, and then like 2 hours later I'm back again to tell you, nope, actually that didn't happen, something else happened. It's something you get used to, but I guess from the outside looking in it might seem like a strange lifestyle. But you know, we choose to do this and it's good fun. Right, I am going to get myself home. I'm gonna get some sleep, hopefully get back into the green on my Whoop recovery score, because it's been in the red and the orange for the last few days and I am feeling it. I feel very, very tired today, so I'm gonna go get some sleep. I probably won't film anything tomorrow. I'm not planning to, at least unless something crazy happens. And then Sunday I will see you for a bit of life admin, for book club day, for a little day out in Cardiff, and then I'll wrap up this first episode. I have no idea how I'm going to wrap it up yet. This is all new to me, right? I'm winging this as I go. Hopefully the episodes will improve as we go, but at some point on Sunday I'll do something that wraps up this episode. Until then, I'm off to bed and I will see you on Sunday. So it's Sunday, it's just gone midday. I am on my way to the office to do a couple of hours of life admin. There's a few bits I need to sort, and then later on this afternoon I'm going to go to Starbucks just down the road and work on the book for a few hours. Yesterday was good. I actually ended up doing a tiny bit of work, although I said I wasn't going to, and then went to see Dumb Money in the cinema. Now, I have literally seen about 4 films in the cinema in my life ever. I am not a film person. They don't interest me. I can't get into like fictional stories, but Dumb Money is about the GameStop story from a couple of years ago, and because it's based so closely to reality and it's so recent and it feels so real, it was really, really good. I'm not sure if it'll even still be in the cinema by the time this video comes out, because I don't know when it started showing, but if you have the chance to, Dumb Money is very good. You should go and see it. So that's what I did yesterday. Today's going to be a fairly standard Sunday for me, so I typically just wake up when I wake up, do a few bits of life admin on a Sunday, whether that's a weekly food shop or planning for the week or tying up loose ends. Actually today I'm doing all of the above, and then I normally spend a few hours working on the book where I can, just to get a few thousand words down and make some progress. I was aiming to have it done by the end of this year. I'm not sure if that's going to be the case anymore, because I kind of neglected it for the first half of the year, but nonetheless I'll get some good progress made today. There's a very good dog in this car here. You can't see it, but I promise it's very good. Also, one other thing I need to do today, I'm going to pop to the shop on the way to the office because I need to buy something to make my car not stink. I did that run on Wednesday morning. It was raining so heavily, and then I threw my running shoes into my boot. I was going to be back in Wales the next day, as you know, but then I wasn't, so they've been in my boot for a few days and they fucking stink, and my car stinks, so I need to sort that out today. That is number 1 on my priority list, is sort out those trainers, make the car not smell, and then do the life admin, and then do the book, and then I will catch up with you this evening. So I will see you later on.
Skeng man, skeng man Nord, skeng man. Skeng, skeng man mode. Skeng, 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 skeng man. Skeng, skeng man mode.
Filming on my phone again for the very last shot of this week's vlog. It is 6 p.m. I've just got back to the office, did a few hours on the book, made some good progress actually. Finished off a chapter that I've been struggling with for a while. Started a new chapter that I think is actually a really important one, so we'll be getting on with that at some point in the next week or so. Look, thank you if you've watched this video to this point. These vlogs I think will get a lot better in the future, but I am very much making this up as I go along. Like, I have learned so much already this week in what it takes to make a narrative in a video like this flow, and the kind of shots I need to be getting, and how much B-roll I need. Spoiler, I need way more. But as I said at the beginning of this video, my real aim with this is to just show you what it's like to be trying. And trying won't always be exciting, right? Trying won't always make the most compelling YouTube videos, but these videos will always be actually what I get up to, whether or not that's interesting. So thank you for getting to this point. Thank you for sticking around. If you're not already subscribed, please do me a favor and click the subscribe button. These videos take a long time to make. Like, this is different to anything I've ever produced before, and I'm really excited about the prospect of pushing forward with them. But it would be amazing if you're not currently subscribed and you've made it this far. If you could push that button, I'd really appreciate it. I'll be back next week, and the week after, and the week after, and I'm going to continue this for as long as I can. So thank you again for watching, and I'll see you in a week.